Hey guys, welcome back. So this video is going to be about setting up a short bed single rear wheel ram. Basically, we're going to kind of turn this into a mechanic welding rig, kind of do it all, a little bit of everything. So what we've started with is I had a frame that I made, and these are fork pockets. So this entire skid will be able to be removed with a forklift if we want to utilize the truck for something else. We have a bed slide here made by Highway Products, and then we shortened it. It was actually an 8-footer, and we shortened it so that it will fit in here. So I wanted to show you the framework before we start putting stuff on it. This is kind of how it's going to sit, like that. And then we have a this box here, pack rat box. Unfortunately, this one that I got, it's locked. You can't get into it, and it also has some damage on the side. Getting that swapped out tomorrow. And then the welding machine we're going to be putting on it is a brand new 330 air pack with the remote and all the goodies. All right, so here's a mock-up of kind of what we're shooting for. This will sit a little bit lower. We'll have double pack outs, and then they will go up to, however how you need. You could just take stuff and add stuff for whatever job you need. And then this will obviously all be full of storage. And then there'll be another job box that goes right here. And then this is what I was talking about. We have all this extra storage underneath, and we'll just make a tray for that. And then we were gonna have a torch bottles behind the welder, and then probably like a 75-25 bottle right here laying down. And then probably some type of reels, welding lead reels, air hose reel, inert gas reel, and stuff right here. It could change a little bit as we go, but that's the basic idea. Okay, so this is where we're at right now. I had some spacers, or just some really scrap that worked out perfectly as spacers to kind of set that on. We bolted some rectangle tubing on the bottom of the machine in the factory mounting holes. We got a piece of square tubing welded to the side of the skid, and we're just going to run some tubes up to that. It's nice heavy wall tube. Shouldn't be any issues there. And then we have literally a piece of scrap plate I found, cut just like that. Fits right in there. Then we're cutting some tubes that will go right here. And then the torch bottles fit perfectly right there. We already mocked them up and checked them. So the goal right now is to get the machine basically hard mounted in there, and then we can figure out everything else. I got the pack rat box swapped out already, so we got that one. All right, let's keep on going. Okay, so we're mounting these Packout boxes, and they have these bases to get them to fit a little bit snugger. We basically trimmed this off. There's still a whole bunch of mounting holes underneath there. So now that'll allow us to stack up Milwaukee boxes here. Now you can see the job box. A 48 by 24 job box fits right there. It's pretty much the same height as the welder, just slightly higher than the cab. So that all looks good. So once we kind of get these bolted down, then we'll start focusing over here with reels and bottles. Riv Nut Tool. Basically, it's a rivet with threads in it. That's how we're going to attach the boxes. Then we just set that right over the top and buckle down. All right, so I'm working on this skid out of the truck, obviously. And here's where the oxygen and settling bottle is gonna fit. I've been kind of playing around with ideas. I tack welded a 2-inch tube there, and I've been thinking of a way to secure the bottles. Well, I have these E-track mounts. Thinking we'll just put one on each side right here, and then we could just put a E-track strap right there, and that'll hold them in there. All right, well, I could do that, and maybe a couple other little things, and then I'll have to go back in the truck just to make sure there's no clearance issues with mounting anything in here. So I came up with this little piece that goes around the bottom of the bottles to kind of hold them in there. The base just from sliding around, just in case it does. Wanted to go over the press brake just for a second. This thing is incredibly easy to use and extremely helpful. I'm gonna go into more detail on this in another video, but like I could just set my degrees to 90 and like first time we got it. And then this one, I think I wanted about 85 or so and nailed it first try. And this is only like maybe the fourth time that I've bent something on this brake. And I'm not super computer smart, but I mean, that's like, it's perfect. All right, so I wanted to show you that. See how we got those tacked on. That's kind of what it's going to look like. Should be good there. Now I'm probably going to start messing with the reels and how those mount. All right, so here's kind of what I came up with. It's all tacked together, so I don't want to pull on anything, but we got a piece of 1/4 inch here that we formed and ran in. We cannot weld these two together because this slides. However, this adds a little bit of protection for my box that's going to go down here, so you can't like grab stuff out of it, I guess. A little bit of safety, but it worked for that because we needed that little extra room there. So it'll need a gusset, a few other things, but all in all looks good. This should still rotate out. Probably never really need to rotate it out, but it could still rotate. So, all right, I'm gonna call it a day, and maybe we can get this in the truck tomorrow and work on that lower bottle mount. All right, so this is the skid pretty much mocked up. So we got our 75-25 torch bottles. We got electrical reel, welding reels, inert gas reel, air hose reel. I have a whole bunch of storage in here. Whole bunch of storage in here. We have some Packout bases where we can just stack however many Milwaukee Packouts we want. And they're secure for going down the road, but I don't think I would leave these at a hotel overnight like this. And of course we have 330 air pack. We're gonna be wiring all the reels in to the machine. And of course we have our slide that slides out, and then we have a little bit of storage under the slide as well. And then also the box that we have to make back there. And then for this bottle here, I had these mounts left over from that other skid, and I basically just made a plate that it would run into, and then a plate here, so when you tighten the bolts, it kind of pushes it and forces it in there. So it should keep everything nice and tight, no moving around. All right, now we're gonna pull the skid out and take apart whatever we need to take apart, and then fully weld everything. Right now, everything is just kind of tacked together, except for the main frame is fully welded, but all the accessories are tacked on. So we'll pull it out and get her welded up.
I was gonna say, put it in the middle bay.
All right, so we got this welded out and painted. We made a little step broke a little piece here, so it's kind of like a ramp. So if you're sliding the bottle in, you're not gonna fight it. Welded out, the ends capped off, looks good. All right, now we're gonna set this 330 on there, but I did want to show Miller really got their balance off. This machine is not balanced when it's hanging. I've never encountered this issue with a Miller machine or any other machine, but that is not straight, and it makes it difficult when you're trying to put something on and then you have bolts. Hold it where you think it's level. That's probably level, and then let it go.
It's honestly not very hard to get there either.
No, like it's off just a little bit. Like this needs to be like right here, probably. But it's just annoying when you're trying to set something up with bolts hanging down and trying to line it up and stuff. It just makes it more of a pain in the butt. Anyways, here's a quick inside of a 330. This is all air compressor. This is all welder generator. All right, let's get her mounted on there. All right, so we got her mounted and all put together for the most part. There's a few additions on here. I'm trying to find a home for the fire extinguisher. I have a couple ideas, but kind of see that's the idea there. Ran the cables. I mean, everything like just fits. Like I got 1 finger gap here, just enough room for the cables. Just enough room where you could slide a piece of material in here if you had to take it, a small piece. I have not made that box down there yet. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to utilize that before I make the box. But I wanted to show this little table I came up with. So you open the tailgate. So now you have a piece of 3/16. And then you utilize the handle from the job box. I bent a little piece on the press brake. So it just kind of opens like that. Boom, now you have a metal table. It's not something that you're gonna beat on, but you have a table that you could work on, and you could plasma cut off this edge and not worry about messing up your paint or melting things. I decided to put a brake on it just to kind of stiffen up the end. It's amazing when you have the tools, how much you find ways to use them. You know, if I didn't have the brake, I wouldn't have bent that, or several other things. But it's just when you could just walk over there and bend it, it's just so convenient. So we're gonna put a little vise right here. I bought a little 4-inch vise from Harbor Freight, $40. I don't want a big one. I don't want something heavy because obviously you have to lift this up to close it. Just something to like maybe hold a little bracket or whatever when you're grinding. But you can see everything fits in there pretty tightly. I will show you kind of how I have everything set up. I'm still putting some tools in here, but I'm going to show you kind of how I organize everything here in a little bit. And then step ladder, back seat, you're able to get to all this pretty easy. All right, let's get this vise mounted on here, and then show you the slides and everything. All right, we got the vise mounted. Got a real light coat of paint on here just to help with the rain. This is basically how this works. So we got a bolt, kind of screw in. Here's a handle. This was done for clearance reasons, but I guess it kind of also works a little bit for, I guess it wouldn't really, not really a theft deterrent. But I got it. So I'm getting some shorter lines made here where they won't pinch each other. That's the problem. I got to figure out the clearance, like right here. But just for right now, like I have a whole air hose in here just to make everything work and test it. I'm probably going to end up having like hydraulic lines made, and I'm going to have to like route the hoses a little bit differently, but I'm not going to be able to do this one-handed. I'm going to pull this out and I'll show you what it looks like all the way out. All right, so it can go probably about 1 or 2 more clicks further out, but you get the idea. You can see we have storage underneath. You have at least 3 inches, so you could stack cords, pry bars, whatever you don't need to get to quickly or like everyday kind of things. And then we have this whole area that sits under the welder. I talked about making a box for underneath here. I'm going to see how I want to utilize this space before I build anything. And then you can see my cord issue. So they come out nicely here, but then it's just all bundled up. These are all way too long. I've got to get them all shortened to the exact length, and it should eliminate a lot of this problem. And then, so with this sliding out, we can get to this to check our fluids, even though you can check it from the top. And then, you know, if we had to get to this side of the welder, we could remove it, or you could probably get these panels out because they pull up pretty easily. Then you can see kind of everything fits. Everything just fits. We got our little vise, which is what I wanted, something small. We could add a couple more packouts if we needed. We still have a few things inside. I'm trying to eliminate having kind of anything in here. Still haven't found a place for the fire extinguisher, but so that's kind of that's the skid. I am going to be putting a 5th wheel hitch in this truck, and I'm going to utilize the center or the 5th wheel part. I'm going to make a pin in the frame so it will drop straight in and lock into that. Right now it's just sitting here. It's not attached to the truck in any way, and the Trailblazer is heavy enough to where it counterbalances this and nothing tips. But I would like it more secure if I'm going up a hill or something. I don't want this sliding out. So in the future, we will be putting that there and probably boxing that in more. But for right now, this is what it is. Okay, we got the bottom slide back in. So now we have the weather guard. And we just got kind of some stuff thrown in here. Welding leads, wire, rods, some safety stuff, earplugs, glasses. grinding consumables, hammers, squares, grinders, clamps, wheel chocks, my favorite starting fluid. There's a bunch of Milwaukee stuff missing because we were using it. And then this is just like basic stuff like consumables, pliers, a couple air tools, stuff like that. These are socket sets. Those are kind of cool. I'll show you those. Comes from Milwaukee in a Packout case. This is the 1/2-inch drive. Nice, everything's labeled nicely. It's got a square drive on this side. You could probably put a crescent wrench on that or something if you need a little extra. They also have a wrench set, which comes in Packout case, which is nice because it all clips together. I would say it's secure for driving down the road, but not secure as far as, like, you know, parking overnight in a hotel. You could probably run a cable through here or whatever, but I mean, that would be just so easy to cut, and I don't know. I had an idea to make like a metal cover for this. I don't know if I'll ever do that, but you never know. Okay, so now let's hop up there and I'm gonna show you what I have in the box. Okay, up here now we have 12VS, Hypertherm 45, and our Captain MiG 200. This is kind of a good combination. You have basically light duty quick welds, pretty much anything heavy duty that we need to do, and cutting up to 3/4, 1 inch, and gouging. Some extension cords. are probably going to put some extra welding leads and cords in here. And I mean, this table's pretty secure for how it's built. The torch stuff, or torch leads and stuff, are all inside of that with quick connects, so it wouldn't take too long to get back together. Closing the tailgate, or the table, one-handed, with my precisely engineered latch. And you can see clearance is right there. Like it's touching the handle, it's touching the tailgate. Not sure if we could have went another 1/4 inch or even an 1/8 inch on that, but perfect. Perfect. All right, so that's kind of the tour of the mini skid. Gives you just a quick layout of how you could set up a short bed truck. This is how I chose to set it up for the needs that I have. This truck will be used for quick out-of-town jobs, something that you don't really need a crane or anything like that. And if we did need a crane, we have multiple crane service trucks. We have 800 air pack. But most of the time, don't need all that fancy stuff. We could just ride there comfortably. Don't have to worry about any commercial stops, way stations, none of that. Just go knock it out and get back. All right, so that is the tour. That is the build. That is the tour. Hope you guys like this. Let me hear any thoughts, recommendations, or whatever you guys want to say. Let me hear it. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.